common to hear on the internet that Gen Z is lazy or doesn't want to work. But is that really true? Or is this just another stereotype created by older generations to dismiss what they don't understand? The truth is, Gen Z, those born roughly between 1997 and 2012, is shaking things up. And some people, they don't like it. Why? Because Gen Z doesn't take crap. They know their worth, demand fair pay, and refuse to settle for outdated norms. But this isn't the first time a new generation has disrupted the status quo. Let's take a quick look at history. Did you know the 8-hour workday we now take for granted didn't exist until workers fought for it in the late 19th and early 20th centuries? It was considered radical at the time, but today, it's a cornerstone of work-life balance. In the 1960s and 70s, younger generations pushed for workplace benefits like health insurance, paid leave, and even weekends off. Every new generation has challenged the way things are done in the workplace, and Gen Z is no different. Older generations often see this as laziness, but Gen Z, they see it as survival. Burnout rates skyrocketed among millennials, and Gen Z learned an important lesson: work smarter, not harder. In fact, 62% of Gen Z prefers flexible work options like remote jobs. This generation isn't just asking for a better work-life balance, they're demanding it. And they're not afraid to walk away from jobs that don't respect their needs. One survey showed that 1 in 5 Gen Z workers has already quit a job because of mental health reasons. That's a bold move that sends a clear message. Our well-being matters more than your deadlines. Gen Z is redefining success, not as climbing the corporate ladder, but as building a career that respects their time, mental health, and ambitions outside of work. But Gen Z isn't just about changing the workplace. They're also reshaping society. Studies show that 70% of Gen Z actively participates in social causes they care about, from climate change to LGBTQ+ rights to racial justice. This generation grew up with the internet, which means they've had access to more information and misinformation than any generation before them. They've seen how powerful social movements can be, and they're not afraid to make their voices heard. 79% of Gen Z believes addressing social justice issues is critical. For them, activism isn't optional, it's a responsibility. And they're using every tool at their disposal, from social media to grassroots organizing, to fight for a better world. Let's talk money. Here's a fact. Gen Z is the least tolerant of unfair wages. They know the cost of living has risen dramatically, and they're not afraid to demand pay that matches their skills. A staggering 85% of Gen Z believes salary transparency is essential in the workplace. They've seen their parents struggle and watch corporations profit at workers' expense. And now, they're saying, enough. Unlike previous generations, who might have stayed in a job for decades regardless of pay, Gen Z is more likely to jump ship if they feel undervalued. They're not being disloyal. They're setting new standards for what a fair workplace should look like. Gen Z also isn't afraid to challenge societal norms. They don't feel pressured to follow the traditional life script: school, job, marriage, house, kids. Instead, they're rewriting the rules to fit their goals and passions. Over 60% of Gen Z values experiences over material possessions. That's why you see so many young people traveling the world, starting their own businesses, or pursuing unconventional careers. They're proving that there's no one-size-fits-all path to success or happiness. And while older generations might view this as a rejection of responsibility, it's really about embracing freedom and individuality. Of course, not everyone is thrilled about these changes. Gen Z's refusal to conform has sparked a generational clash. Many older people, especially those with more conservative views, feel threatened by their progressive ideals and outspoken nature. In fact, 56% of baby boomers say they don't understand Gen Z's priorities. But maybe the real issue is this: Gen Z is changing the world faster than some people can keep up with. And history has shown us one thing: resistance to change is always loudest right before the change becomes the norm. So, the next time someone calls Gen Z lazy, remember, they're not lazy, they're building a world where work is fair, rights are respected, and everyone has a voice. But here's the thing: if Gen Z is already changing the work industry, What happens when Gen Alpha enters the scene? Are we prepared for the next generation of changemakers who could push us even further into a new world of work and life? What do you think about Gen Z's approach to life and work? Are they leading us to a better future, or is there something they could do differently? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into generational trends and social change.